Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the the Titan's Gift Season 3 Episode 29? 39. 29. Let's try that again. Season 3 Episode 29. I am your DM and host, Marty, joined by the full Seattle crew. Let me get their mics at the previous set levels in increasing order of loudness. Okay, how is everyone doing on this fine... I don't even know what day is today. Tuesday.
All day until midnight.
Yep. Excellent. How is everyone doing? A little bit of rest. Let's get those cobwebs off. Good to see the folks in chat. This is after a bit of the summer hiatus and the Starlink satellite thing not quite working out. We'll just have to wait in Canada for them to lay fiber to the house, which will be sometime in the next year or two. But good to see you folks. Foxfire, Random, Wither, 100 Years Boar, some new folks, Larak.
Nice. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. How is everyone doing on this fine Tuesday?
Doing great, man. Doing real great. Good to be back. It's been forever since I've cast any spells here, guys.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been so long, Luke. How did that much time go by that quickly?
I don't know. Every day just keeps flying by, you know.
Time is a harsh god.
When was the last time we played? Like a month ago? 2 months ago?
This one was 8-9. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
2 months
Early
ago.
August. Yeah, ton has happened.
Yeah.
Had a birthday back in home sweet home. My brother visited with his wife, stayed here for a week. First time I saw my brother in like 7 years, so that was fun. A lot of dinners, a lot of late night hanging out. It was good. Been playing now that the house is kind of somewhat set up, mostly set up. I've been playing some VR again, which is fantastic. Had a nice session on Sunday where I just mercilessly stabbed some guys in VR for a couple hours. That was really satisfying.
Nice.
That's cool.
Life's good. Life's pretty good.
Stay away from lumberjack games near VR. I hear at your location that gets very real very quickly.
Hey, the tree guys were just out. They were just out trimming these trees. There's one in the backyard, he said, keep an eye on. It's not looking so good. It's too close to home, buddy.
Take them all out.
Neil,
it's not a joke.
what's going on with
It's not a joke
you?
if it's not a little true, right?
Dude, it is crazy expensive to take these trees out because they're just in the backyard and there's no way to get at them easy and you can't just drop them. So he's like, yeah, that one's not looking good. It's going to be like probably $7,000 to take that down. It's just like,
What?
I swear,
Okay.
I think those arbitragers just drive on the freeway and they see the trees and they go, money.
It's so fucking expensive. Anyway.
Neil, what's new with you, man?
I started a new hobby, been
Yep.
3D printing. Just built a car. It's pretty fun. It's nice and big. It's a nice and big truck. It's a Jeep. It's not a Jeep. It looks like a Jeep. It never says Jeep anywhere. I think that's probably
a remote
strategically
control
important.
car, not like a full.
It's a
size.
remote.
Okay.
It's a remote control car. Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that Peanut can chase up and down the yard.
You wouldn't
She chases-
download a car, Neil, would you?
Yeah, she chases it up and down the yard. She doesn't like it because it moves, so she tries to catch it. That's how she gets her exercise now. So, fun. Started a whole hobby while we weren't playing. My wife started working, so on Sunday she's not at home, so that gives me a whole day of just doing stuff.
Nice.
So, having fun with it. How's being back in the city?
I've only been back for like less than a week now, so most of it's been setting up the apartment, doing groceries, small tasks, back to work. So I don't know. I haven't quite ventured too far yet. Seattle Kraken start their season on Saturday though, which should be fun.
Well, at home. They start tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna watch Kraken versus one of the worst teams in the league. I don't know if it's worth.
Plus, it's Wednesday.
Yes, win.
I'll wait till
That's not
Saturday. I gotta watch so much hockey this year that I'll missing one game isn't gonna be the end.
That's
of the
what I
world.
tell myself when I go. That's what I'm going to tell myself when I go to the neighborhood potluck on Saturday instead of going to the hockey with you. I'm like,
Yep.
there's a lot of games. I'm still gonna.
Yes, sir. Max, what's new, man?
How about you go to Matt? I got dogs barking because
Okay.
we just got here.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, for work. Just a few days here, touring a data center. Should be really interesting, as far as it's going to be as interesting as it can be to tour a large data center. I guess if you think that might be interesting, then it probably will be. If you think that sounds boring, it probably will be. Yeah.
Well, Chat just gave you a fortune point, so Matt. So there you go.
Hey, there you go.
The fortune point
chaos.
counts are 1 for Neil, 1 for Matt, and no hero points. I've got 1 of each, and Mark's got 1 of each, and there's still a villain point in the tank. So
Ooh, nice.
yeah, just leftovers from way back when. These things don't replenish when we don't stream.
Not too much going on with me. Cats are doing all right. The West Seattle Bridge is open again. That happened. So now, instead of being an hour away from Seattle, I am like
45
15
minutes?
minutes away from Seattle. So it's really a pretty large difference.
Yeah,
Um,
that's huge.
Yeah. So I go into work maybe once a week. My wife goes into work every day, and it cuts an hour of commuting time off every day for her.
Oh my God.
Fantastic. So
Yeah. God bless her for doing that while the bridge was closed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of driving, a lot of traffic. Max, what's going on?
Yep.
Geez, did I think I got promoted since the last time we played.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So I'm now lead content producer, which is pretty exciting. What else is going on? We moved into the house finally, so that was great. Fully
Nice.
moved in. We're starting to unpack stuff, so getting stuff back up on shelves, things like that. For a long time, we had to wait because it wasn't until we moved in that my wife decided she wanted new carpets. So we had to book that out like a couple months, and those got installed on Monday of last week. So now that the new carpets are in, we're finally unpacking upstairs, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's been good.
Cool. Why don't we do a recap of what happened in the last couple of games, given that it's been a while. So, how far are we going to go back? Let's go back to Sunstroke, which was 2 episodes ago. Walking upon the wind, the Jerks Emeritus visit the remote town of Flameford, home to the Tribe of the Sun. With Krojan and Akron's aid, they gain audience with the tribe's chief. The Sun Shaman, however, seems unwilling to communicate. Darian finds a temple in need of assistance. Together, the party works to break the curse of an old god that has been cast upon the shaman. And then last game was called Thurgus Shrugged. Zephyros visits an archive of ancient knowledge maintained by the Sun Shaman. The rest of the Jerks Emeritus visit an ancient ruin of a temple of Atlas the Titan. Krojan provides instructions on how to perform a ritual of a test of endurance. Thurgus and strangely the Professor begin the ritual, whilst the rest of the party investigates the ruins and keeps watch. Dangerous beasts are attracted to the temple, spurred on by a ruinous and jealous 3-headed titan. Professor, you know that was
Keratos Morris?
Keratos Moore is the one that sent the beasts to try to interrupt your ceremony.
He was just saying hi. We're good friends. He was just kind of like, hey, we haven't hung out in a while. Maybe you want to come pet my dogs, you know?
Where we left off was somewhere in the middle of the evening on the second day of the trial. Thurgus has been holding this massive boulder above his head, with his familiar cheering him on.
Cross the halfway point.
The professor has been conjuring small armies of unseen servants to hold up the smallest of the boulders that appeared when you enacted the beginning of the ritual. Thurgus, I think, has the 3rd largest boulder above his head. Yes. And then there are some that are truly titanic that at one point I think Farisay started doing some calculations while looking at the largest boulder, as she thinks the largest boulder has something to do with a secret compartment at the center of the Atlan temple.
Yeah.
Looks like we got another fortune point for Thurgus in here.
Nice. I will
That'll come in
Oh,
if she
yes.
rolls coming up.
complete that and add that to Max's total. All right. Meanwhile, let's go to Flameford, and we've got the Fant is picking through a library of ancient scrolls and tablets that have been maintained by this particular village of Rakastans and Catfolk. Quickly, you realize, Thurgus, Zephyros, that this knowledge is likely from a previous age, as a lot of the dialects and languages are quite old or not widely used. You do find a considerable amount of texts that are written in. Let's have a look at your languages. That are written in Low and High Ankwani. I believe Zephyros speaks Low Ankwani, but does not. Oh, he does have High Ankwani, so he reads both the script as well as the hieroglyphics of Ankwani. This may take some time to start to sift through, and there may be other things of interest in this library aside from just information about your enemy. And I'm going to move to Flameford and find Zephyros. Where are you? Where is your token? Aha, there you are. Zephyros, you're in this large structure where the library is kept. It is an ancient. It's an ancient temple that has been converted, probably several times, and it is currently dedicated to the chief of the pantheon of gods, at least the goodly chief of the pantheon.
Okay, and how much of this place have we explored, or how much of it has Zephyros explored? I'm assuming that he must have done some exploration because he's busy looking at these troves of knowledge and going through it. So he obviously knew it was there.
The party's been gone for a full day, for 2 full days. So we're going to give you 2 rolls. What particular information is Zephyros looking for while looking in this library? And feel free to talk to the other players because I think you missed a game. Basically, I want to know what particular line of research you're trying to go down.
Yeah, what would we be interested in? I feel like we would want to know something about that creature that was looking at us through that portal. Kazavon, yeah?
Oh yeah, the Kazavon for sure. That's the main quest, like spirit dragon thing.
Okay, what specifically about Kazavon? Because you do find things where Kazavon is mentioned.
Probably how they defeated him last time. Details about like weaknesses. Like anything we can dig up.
Where is he? Like how would we find him? How would we find him? How would we beat him?
Do we even know what he looks like? If we see him, would we know it's him?
I think he's sort of a large blue dragon.
Okay, so sure, we'll know it's him.
I think he'll stand out in a crowd. If there's a bunch of blue dragons, I don't know if we could pick Kazvan out of the lineup, but I'll bet we could.
but I feel like that's a different problem.
Yes. Yeah,
probably
fair.
Another good line of inquiry, how to like get out of the pearls, get out of specific pearls, stuff about like breaching the barriers.
If it's about the pearls, Zephyros would definitely want to know why wasn't Heshmala present. because we were looking at that. What was it called? It was the Pearl of something?
Oh yeah, this giant
Yeah, that
real-time map.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Globe
I
of
mean-
Pearls, the map of the pearls. And when we were doing that, there was details about everything except Heshmala.
The
Like we didn't find it in our constellation, at least.
Right.
The Fartirian Globe of Pearls. Or Tartarian, sorry.
It'd be interesting to know about Kazavan's relationship to Baba Yaga. Because it feels like there's a daughter of Baba Yaga involved here, and there's got to be something going on here. I'd be curious about the 3 entities that there's 3 entities. A Chardalon is one. The Necromancer, I think, is one. Someone else is one that made some pact at the professor's house. That may be going a little too far afield. I don't know if that's... Is Kazavan associated with the Necromancer? Would be interesting.
I would say too, like, the professor would kind of say, hey, if you're going to be in the library, if you see any like language instruction books, just like see if you can get your hands on them. But it's your research,
I feel like the Kazavan's weakness would be an important thing that Zephyros would want to know. I think weakness and is he associated with the Necromancer would probably be the 2 top things that he would want to know. There's a bunch of side stuff that he would want to know, like how would we find Kazavan, and how did they defeat him last time? But he would start mostly with, well, what's Kazavan's weakness, and is Kazavan associated with a Necromancer, and if so, how? Like how do they tie together?
Yeah, that makes sense. And just like if you see a book on Olympian language, just slip it in your pocket, The Trifold Pact. That is the name of that.
What's your thought about the Necromancer? Do you think that he's like influencing someone in the past the same way he's influencing the Queen now?
First of all, he's Grandpa,
Sure.
The Necromancer is just his title, right?
So it's Grandpa Necromancer to you.
Yeah, I guess I would
Yeah.
just be more curious as to like to what extent has he dominated somebody like he's dominating the Queen and puppeteering a royal faction in the past?
Because we know that he was involved in kind of leading Grand Station when what was that guy's name? Azrael was in charge, and Azrael somehow betrayed him. So perhaps it was Azrael that put him wherever he is now.
All right. Seems like that was a good discussion. What is the first line of inquiry that you have while having this tremendous library at your disposal?
Yeah, so Zephyros is trying to figure out what Kazavan's weaknesses are. He's interested in, anything related to how they defeated Kazavan, anything they know about what he's vulnerable to, what could hurt him, how could we defeat him?
Okay. Pick a knowledge skill, and that it is from that lens that I will answer this question depending on how you roll. So if you roll Knowledge Arcana, it might be about a specific magic item. If you roll History, it might be about some event.
I feel like Knowledge History is probably the best to do at this point. I'm going to do a Knowledge History here, which is interesting because Knowledge Arcana is my strong suit, but okay, let's do Knowledge History. 31.
That's not bad.
Could have been worse. Could have been 8. Could have been 18 worse, or 17 worse.
Okay. You do find an account of the battle against Kazavon. That there was a person named Mandravis wielding the sacred sword Serithtial, who was able to slip through the dragon's guard and deliver the fatal blow. And I'll copy this so you can paste it somewhere.
Mandravis? Did he retire and eventually take over running a meat shop in the lower part of station?
You're thinking of Manny?
Yeah. Wasn't his name Mandreas? It's his grandfather.
I can answer that question. Give me a second. MIA Mandraeus. Yeah, this was Mandravis. Yeah, there's missing a V, but yep.
Legendary hero. Probably a lot of kids named after the legendary savior of the realm after that.
What a coincidence. That's what my sword is named. Serithtial is not the name of the sword that your paladin turns into, who currently is still a sword.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That is called the Answerer.
Yeah. The Zephyros is the name. Just happens to be the name of Thurgus' adamantine greatsword.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a crazy coincidence.
It's like Luke's played this, or sorry, Max has played this module before. I'm gonna name my magic item plot points from.
I think I named my sword actually the Keyblade to start with because I was using it to open a lot of doors.
Is there anything about
you know that Mandravis that this confrontation happened in something called a star tower, and it's all capitalized as in something that is important called the Star Tower? It spoke that before the sword was used, his scales deflected almost every attack they had tried to use against him.
That's going to be a problem.
If it says almost, do we know why they said almost?
Well, this holy sacred weapon was able to slip through.
So this was the one. Okay.
So there's a few other basically nouns that you don't know anything about, potentially.
We are going to legend lore some of those things.
Yes.
Zephyros is standing there wondering to himself, well, now that he knows about the sword that Mandravius used, that seemed like an interesting thing to want to follow up on the Seraphiel. Do we know? Does he sense what happened to the sword?
Yeah. So, if that is what you're trying to follow up on, like mentions of the sword, and where did this sword end up?
I just want to check something. I have this spell called Locate Object, and I just want to know what do I need to know about the object to figure out where I want to go with this.
There's a range limitation on Locate Object.
Yeah, it's hundreds of feet, and you have to have seen the object before. Maybe
Got it.
Maybe maybe there's a picture or a drawing of the sword in the library. That is a. So this basically took you half a day to find this information. Like,
yeah,
they were guarding specifically information about this final battle, about the fight against Kazavon. Like this stuff is probably not written down in any other place in the Pearls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zephyros is going to try and figure out what happened to this sword. I think I think that's probably a logical leap to say, hey, we know about this sword. We know we're going to need something at some point, so how about we just see if we can find it?
Okay, that would be either knowledge local or knowledge history.
I don't think it matters because my knowledge local and knowledge history is pretty similar, so I shall do the thing again. Let's see. I may have to use a point here. Oh!
Okay,
oh! I learned there was a sword. It's in a place.
I bet it's sharp.
It has got a pointy end. Oh.
You do find that there was some mention that their victory over Kazavon was short-lived. There was something about it wasn't a clean victory. That Kazavon's corpse seethed with dark energy, beginning to knit back together towards life once again, and Mandravis had to leave his sword impaled in the dragon's skull.
Oh, that's good information.
That's pretty metal.
Now, where does that mean? It's in the Star Tower? It doesn't seem to be very clear. Like there's some room for, you could pick up a skull and move it. You're now starting to wonder about this crown of fangs that now the Queen Iliosa wears. Is also made from the teeth of Kazavon. So did they move the skull? Not like you don't have a clear answer from this day's research. Do you have any? Do you have a ring of sustenance, Zephyros?
No, I don't believe I do. I will check, but I don't believe I do.
Okay, so that's basically an 8-hour day. You could spend 4 more hours trying to follow up on a different topic, or to research one that you've already done to get more knowledge. Basically, you're spending 12 hours in a library, which is doable.
Yeah, I think knowing what Zephyros knows now, he may just go with whether there's a link between the Necromancer and Kazavon. See if he can find out something about that.
Okay. This one would be knowledge arcana or knowledge religion. Yeah. Which roll are you going to do?
I'm just checking which one's the better for me. I think Knowledge Arcana is probably my better. I've got a plus 24. Oh, that's really good. Never mind. Knowledge Arcana. 1d20 plus 22. 36.
Okay, so Kazavon was defeated quite some time ago, like hundreds of years before the Necromancer last appeared. It feels like Kazavon is older than the Necromancer, is really the thing that you're getting. However, it does appear that there is a connection between the two of them in the pact that they made with a trifold of powers, that both Kazavon and the Necromancer were beholden to a trifold pact between a nameless lich, a red dragon being called a Shardalon, and the eternal hag Baba Yaga. That would be the closest to a religion that these two creatures had shared. And this at point, you're kind of like, you're nodding off, trying to find some connection, and then you like find this. No one spelled it out for you. You just found that
It's that eureka moment of connecting a bunch of dots that you think nobody else has connected.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Now, the necromancer you think was more leaning towards the power of the nameless lich, whereas Kazavon saw himself as like the incarnation of Ashardalon. And then you know of these three being in sort of a pact together through discussions with the professor, and you kind of loosely are able to connect these dots.
What was the third part of the pack? There was the Lich, the Red Dragon, and what was the other part?
Baba Yaga.
Baba
The
Yaga?
eternal hag, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga.
Right.
It really didn't glean anything aside from, yep, they worship three really evil beings that are thought to still wander the pearls. Maybe it's more like they have pacts with them. You're not too sure you could worship these three beings and receive spells, but you're pretty sure you could contact them and make a pact for power. These three seem to at least have been honored, if not revered, by both of these foes. There's another thing. With the 36 you're nodding off, the necromancer seemed really interested in the nature of the pearls themselves. And there is a mention that the necromancer may have studied some of the scholarly writing of Kazavon on the nature of the pearls.
Ooh.
And that there was something about an act of creation. And you kind of nod off for the day.
Interesting.
Next day, this is when Thurgus and the others are still lifting boulders above their head. And, yeah, Baba Yaga might be running rather than walking. Yeah, that's true. It's a callback to a different campaign. What, you're like, an act of creation. Okay, so you've got a number of things. What is a star tower? Where is the sword? What was this act of creation that Kazavon did? So there's a few lines of inquiry that might be interesting to follow up on. Also, where is the sword? You know, maybe somewhere there's more information about the sword.
I think the religion that they're doing seems interesting to me, because I'm pretty sure the party's going to want to know more about that. If some powers were imparted and some promises were made and some deals were made, that may be an important thing to know. Also around where's the sword, I think that's probably not a bad angle to keep going until we exhaust it and find some clear answers. So I'll probably start with a sword and then work my way backwards.
Okay, so you're continuing to look around for more information about Serithtial.
Yeah, so maybe for that, a Knowledge Arcana might be more useful so that we can know something about the sword itself.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yeah, are you looking for more of the nature of the sword, or...?
I mean, I don't think we're going to find the location. I think the location is sort of a mystery at this point.
Okay.
Would I be able to, if I maybe did a planes or a geography, be able to find it?
If you went from history, or like, okay, from a historical perspective, from a planes perspective, you might narrow down what pearl the sword was last seen in.
All right, let's do that.
Okay, so this is the first 4 hours of the second day.
Yeah, knowledge plane. Where's the sword? 32.
The last known location of Serithtial was in a pearl called Scarfat.
What? I've never heard of this pearl. Where's my pearl map?
Did we see this pearl when we were looking at the map of pearls? I don't think so.
Nope. It is not one of the ordinal stations of Grand Station where the trains run. It is not one of the connecting pearls, or is it? You've not seen this name before.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see if I can show you a map of the pearls. Did I create a map? The Great Wheel. Okay. So this is the Great Wheel. We've got Grand Station at the center. You guys are in the Badlands. You've spent a lot of time there. The ordinal stations are Furnace, Radiance, the Windwalks, Beastlands, Aquatada, Cliffside, Underhome. Beastlands is where Thurgus and his people arrived. Cliffside seems to have a vampire problem. Garden is where Pharisee is from. It is one of the dead pearls, along with Yond is also a dead pearl. Yond having been destroyed more recent than Garden. Yond is where Levi's character is from.
Okay, so the too long didn't read here is
For Ludo, yeah.
we have no idea where this plane is that's being referenced. Never heard of it, never seen it on a map.
Well, you've never seen it on a map. I'll let you do a knowledge planes to see if Thurgus has just ever heard of it before. Thurgus is pretty intelligent. You are well learned.
Zephyros.
Zephyros? Yeah, Zephyros. Thurgus is very good at swinging a sword.
Thurgus
very
is not
intelligent.
very intelligent.
Yeah.
Linguistics there, is that an Anquani name?
Scarfat seems to be a style of Anquani name. 21. You think Scarfat could be one of these pearls? One of the ones that are marked with an X down below.
Where is that map?
It's in the there's a map in
right.
the campaign world section of the OneNote, and I also created a
Right. Cool.
a map tools map for that.
Okay. So we know the name of the pearl. Do we know how to get there if we needed to get there?
That is, it must not be a pearl that people very often visit, because you're like, I think it might be hanging off the Badlands and Underhome, or maybe it's the Badlands and Furnace. But it's not a place that people often go and visit. All right, so that was your first 4 hours of the second day. The next 4.
Okay. So we know the religion that Casavon and Cashalon and the Necromancer appeared to have that pact, the Trifold of Powers. Do we know what's become of it? Do we know if there was something? So they were bestowed some powers. And we know that, for example, the Necromancer manipulated people. Was this a power that was bestowed on him because of this pact, or have we seen the powers that were bestowed on him through this pact? Is essentially what Zephyros is wondering. If I could phrase it another way, Zephyros is trying to figure out, is the worst yet to come? Or have we seen the materialization of the powers that the Necromancer has obtained already?
Well, just to remind you of things that you've already learned, you learned that there was an assassination attempt against Queen Iliosa, and she was able to bat aside the attack that should have killed her. and that she wears the crown of fangs, which is likely made from the teeth of Kazavon.
Okay.
So, if you ask your question, have we seen the end of it? No, it appears that Queen Iliosa is wielding the powers of Kazavon. Or she's a giant skin suit for the puppet master that is reborn Kazavon. Or,
Right,
or
right.
something, like
Or
something's
something to
going
that
on.
effect.
Yes.
Do we know what the link is between Iliosa and Kazavon besides the necromancer?
We can guess, seeing as how the hag is one of the three packs, and we suspected that Iliosa was the daughter of Baba Yaga, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
One of
So-
her many daughters, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So knowledge of Kazavon could have come to Queen Iliosa through her mother or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good theory.
And do we know if the necromancer has dominated anybody in the past before Iliosa?
Well, to clarify, it's not the necromancer.
No, I know, but I mean, so besides Iliosa,
Kazavon.
yeah, I know Kazavon is with Iliosa, but I mean, in the past, before any of that happened, do we know if they've dominated anybody else like that?
You get the sense that the necromancer threatened a different part of the pearls. You don't think it was a main threat to this particular pearl, this particular constellation of pearls.
And this is totally out of character because Thurgus doesn't have these thoughts, but like, it seems to reason that either Iliosa came across the skull and had a crown made from it, or someone made a crown from the fangs and they found the skull. And regardless of, like, maybe the sword's still in the skull somewhere, maybe it's not, but it's the connection to the crown that is causing her connection to Kazavon.
I think that crown's been around for quite a while, since before Iliosa. Iliosa, I think, discovered it in the basement, kind of, or something like that.
Yeah, there was a tidbit of information where when the Rakastans still ruled over the pearl that is now called Grand Station, they had tried to split up pieces of Kazavon, and the fangs had ended up in deep within the castles in Grand Station. So she could have found it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've learned. So
yes.
we've learned that there was this religious trifecta. We've learned about the sword. We've learned how they defeated him with a sword, and that up until that point, everything was deflected. So in other words, we know this sword is a very important thing for killing the original version of Kazavon when he was a physical thing. But we don't know what will hurt him now that he's no longer a physical thing. Do we know anything that happened after he died?
We know he started to come back to life almost immediately. And
Yeah,
and then we were saying that it sounds like they split up his body at one point.
Yeah, so his physical body was split up, right? But there was something else because he's clearly still around in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
It suppressed his regeneration.
It suppressed his regeneration, but he as a thing is not gone. He's still there.
Yeah.
Right, he's probably bound to all the pieces.
I wonder if there's something in there that we can learn. Zephyros doesn't quite know what he's looking for, so he's just sort of with the afterlife version of Kazavon exploring to see if he can see anything about the spiritual realm or the incorporeal realm of where Kazavon is incorporeal.
If you don't know what you're looking for, you might just want to research the other pieces of Kazavon.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that as well.
right? Like we found the crown, but like where does other bits go? Are there claws out there somewhere that could cause a problem? Like are there some wing bones, something that are forged into some, flying machine or some crap?
Yeah, sure. Anything that happened after he died, essentially.
It'd also be interesting to figure out how to get to where he died. Like how are these pearls connected? How do you get to them? That would be interesting too.
Yeah, that's where I was going with. Do we know how to get to that pearl? And it doesn't seem like the answer is clear.
Yeah.
All right. So first off, we're still trying to figure out where are the pieces of Kazavon's body. We know the crown, but what about the rest of him?
That sounds interesting.
Okay. Yeah, give me a history check.
$25.
You know that the that Mandravis decided that since none of them could wholly destroy Kazavon, they would each hide pieces of it, each being his allies, to make sure that the evil entity would never be able to reform again. And there are 7 relics of Kazavon. They did not write down where these 7 artifacts went, because each of the 7 kept it hidden from the others.
Ooh.
But
Did you at least stumble across a list?
You know. Well, yeah. So the lists are: there's a skull, claws, fangs, horns, ribs, tailbone, wings. You know. Through what Iliosa is wearing, where the fangs ended up.
Yep.
You get the sense that something happened after they stopped the regeneration. Like they tried to figure out what to do. So maybe the blade isn't still stuck in the skull. That's probably how they, at least achieve their beginning of their victory. Okay, so that's the second 4 hours of that second day, and then the last 4 hours of the second day, and then we'll be caught up in time with the other party.
Yeah, I still think trying to figure out how to get to that pearl. Wait. The battle was on that pearl with a funny name. I forget the name.
Scarfat. Yep.
On Scarfat. Do we know? And that's where he died. I presume the battle was on that pearl, and he fell on that pearl as well. I'm assuming this wasn't an inter-pearl fight of some kind. So we know sort of, or we have a suspicion, or Zephyros has a suspicion of where in the Great Wheel that pearl is.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know how he would go about getting there? Like maybe he doesn't know exactly how to get there, but does he know where he could go to figure out how to get there?
Yeah, so you're trying to figure out how to get into the pearl.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be a knowledge planes.
Sorry, I was just making a note. Let's be some luck here. 16. There's a gate. There's a pearl. It has a place.
Only by the blessing of Kazavon could you get into Scarfat.
Probably Salvatore could get in. He feels pretty like Kazavon blessed.
We also have a shield made from a scale of Kazabon.
He might be a little salty about us like picking off his scales and using them for armor, though, right?
All right. Meanwhile, the Atlan Pillars. We've done a gazillion rolls about holding these rocks above our heads. I think one last roll to see if you succeed in keeping these things together would be prudent. So basically, what I mean roll is like one last series of rolls. So Thurgus, you haven't slept in 2 days, and you're trying to make it to the third. Somehow you're not fatigued.
I've been feeding myself lesser restorations,
Nice.
but I'm running out of spell slots.
Yep. So what I need from Thurgus is one more, I guess, what were we making? We were making fortitude saves and then strength checks?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, so I need one more fortitude save to avoid becoming fatigued in that last day. $31. Okay, and then one more strength check to keep this boulder aloft amongst the field of bodies of dire bouleys.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to add a bonus to it first. No, it's all right. Okay.
All right, Luke
This is
Luke
an ability check, yeah?
Yeah, Luke has just been given a hero point.
Woo! Thank you, sir.
So then with my luck bonus, this will turn out to be, I think, plus 11. Let me double check. Need to make sure I have Good Hope turned off. Yeah, plus 11.
23.
23.
Thurgus, you managed to just kind of like you found this crick in your neck, this little pock like between your shoulder when you held up your arm, the crick in your neck, and your face where you just have this thing precariously balanced.
And the tentacle. Out on
Oh
the
yeah,
other
oh
side.
yeah, and the tentacle that you've managed to create. How did you do that again? Was it?
Christopher used his evolutions this a couple days ago. I haven't slept, so he hasn't changed his evolutions. So I have a tentacle of blood that's kind of come out from between my armor, and it's helping sort of position things when I need to like stretch out one of my hands.
Matt, Neil, and Max have all been gifted a hero point by Ahmed. It looks like
The blessings.
the blessings.
They are upon us.
Hell yeah.
Now, Ahmed, you get all the points because you play in another game. Funny. Because I think you get awarded channel points based off how much you watch, and
Yeah.
if you're playing, you watch a lot. Okay. Yeah, Thurgus, you're reaching that morning of the third day. Krojan, by this point in time, Bukerbeck has managed to give healing to the party. I know some of you were injured when battling the dire belays. Henry, you've kept, much to the chagrin of the three-headed Titan deity that has taken interest in you. You managed to keep this Atlasian boulder above your head via your spells. That last evening, you got a few more minutes before Krojan comes up to Thurgus. You got a few more minutes before dawn. Don't drop it now. Ha ha ha.
Don't tempt me.
You won't be able to try this again for another year if you fail.
Oh, trust me, I have no interest in trying this again anytime soon. I'm a little tired, but honestly, mostly I'm really fucking bored. It feels like I've been here for months.
Yeah. It'll be worth it.
Woohoo! Got some fortune points too.
Oh yeah, looks like fortune points all the way around. So let me just.
Ahmed's
add that.
draining the tank tonight.
Which means that some of you are at 2, some of you are at 1. All right, cool. The morning of the third day crests the. There seems to be a distant sandstorm, but it doesn't quite approach the Atlan Pillars near Flameford. Henry, you feel strangely mighty and strong.
Ooh,
Thurgus,
I think this fresh air is doing me wonders.
Thurgus, you get this second wind and you feel like this boulder is nothing.
Yeah.
Stands a little taller.
There is a flash of golden light. All of the Atlassian boulders simply disappear.
Ooh.
I'm still hunched.
Thurgus,
I can't move my arm.
your the power of your cloak bestowed to you by Zalara is dispelled.
Do I shrink?
No. Instead, the power changes, and Thurgus, the blood quilt just seems to meld into you and mix with your blood after it turned golden. The same gold light that made all of the boulders disappear. Thurgus, you are now considered a large creature by base.
Oh, you know what that means.
Yes, my time has
Harder
come.
to teleport.
Yeah.
More teleport Matt.
But so worth it.
You can also have the proper ability score adjustments for being large, and not just the or the enlarged person ability score adjustments. So I believe that's plus. Let me just look at the giant simple template.
Oh, is it simple giant?
Yep.
I have it on Crojan, so I have it listed as +4 strength, -2 dex, +4 con, +3 natural armor.
Correct. And all of your dice are increased by 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you've received the blessings of Atlas, Christopher seems to, traitor.
Oh, I'm not a trader. I'm just kind of a god slut.
Well, that's all right. Those gods aren't around anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Oh,
I guess it's a Titan slut, Titanic slut. I don't know. I got a lot of Titan friends.
well, I wouldn't say this too loudly around here. The Titans did get defeated by the Olympians, right? You know, a long time ago.
That's history stuff. That's for the dorks over there with the books.
Well,
I
like,
just got to be nice to people, save people, and kill a lot of other people.
what, like that dork over there?
Yeah, that one over there.
Professor, you're somewhat disappointed because you're not the one that's glowing gold. Your unseen servants are glowing gold.
I'm just like sitting on a rock flipping through a magazine anyway. After all my efforts.
I'm going to say for now on, Professor, whenever you cast Unseen Servant, their effective strength score is now 10 instead of 2.
Unseen muscle servants.
That's nice.
That is nice.
You could lift so many rocks.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
You can lift a lot of things with this,
This is
and
very useful.
this is Atlas giving the wizard strength
Should I?
for out
Add
tricking him in his challenge. Perhaps the Titans also had trickster gods amongst their ranks.
What's a good place for that to live on a character sheet? Like an
Just
ability?
you could just put in brackets next to your unseen servant. Treat strength score as 10. But you do also have, like, there might be a detectable thing where you have the blessings of Atlas on both of you.
Nice.
Yep. You catch a glimpse, Thurgus, of Zalara just giving you a nod. Remember, Zalara's pulling of strings sort of led you to Crojan, which led you here, which led you to prove how strong you are, which led you to the thing that you actually wanted, which was to become large. All right, Thurgus, you haven't slept for 3 days. You are now fatigued until you get 8 hours of rest.
I cast Bless Restoration. Or do I have Titanic fatigue?
I think sleep only the fatigue for sleep probably only comes back when you've actually received sleep.
I think you can restoration it away.
Can you? All right. So you're in the process of casting your
It
3-round
also
spell.
eliminates any fatigue suffered by the character and improves an exhausted condition to fatigued. It does not restore ability drain.
Okay. Thurgus is just living off of spells at this point in time. At this point, the party notices, or let's see who in the party
Positive
notices.
thoughts.
Pharisee with the crazy perception. Pharisee, you noticed a magical explosion back in Flameford. And that there are things flying around that look like they're attacking people.
It looks like an attack on Flamefort. There's magic involved. We should get back.
Well, it's a good thing I'm preparing my spells.
Zephyros, at the same time, you thought you heard, like, you were kind of getting back down into the library early the morning of that third day, and you were like, I'm going to follow up on insert your line of inquiry there, and you heard, let's see. Nope, Zephyros with his 14 is busy with his books. You haven't heard anything yet.
I have not prepared my spells. I'm preparing books.
Well, no, you prepare your spells in the morning.
No, I'm joking.
But, yeah. Okay.
Shall we teleport there?
Yeah, it's a
Oh, I
good...
don't know if you could teleport me. I'm so big.
I
Oh, look
can.
at all these guns. Oh,
I've got a couple spare teleports as well. Who's coming with me? I'll say, emerging from the pillar.
where have you been?
Over there, proving my strength to the Atlassian Titan.
Just shakes his head.
You didn't see me lifting that boulder over there for the last 3 days? And then
no, all we saw was like an illusion of a pillar, and there was just a rock on top of a stand.
Oh, well, yes. To the untrained eye, I'm sure that's how it would appear. But as you can see, I am much stronger now. Hooah!
Poke the professor.
Ouch, don't do that.
He's
That
not.
hurts.
He's not very strong.
Where should we go? To the top of the tower where we arrived before?
Seems a rather defensible place for us to rain down justice.
Just to be clear, Zephyros knows none of this. He's busy with his books.
Yeah, you're deep within some library vault, and you did not hear the magical explosion.
Or we could go into the center of town, and I could establish us a stronghold there from which to defend, and I'll hold out the bone house.
What are those things? Pharisee, with your very keen eyes, you think you see gargoyles flying around?
It looks like gargoyles. Like the ones that we saw at the Alchemist Tower. Perhaps the Alchemists have come.
4-armed gargoyles? Yeah. It could be them.
Didn't we see some in the dream too?
I don't recall.
When we had that dream of the castle, when Darius was all like, oh, this is the time when I fell or tried to kill the queen or whatever. When we was going down on the keep, there was shit flying around everywhere. Or was those like nightmares or something else?
I think that there were certainly like some sort of like lightning drakes or something. I think I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, me
Good
neither.
question.
I'm really fucking tired.
All right, Bukerbeck casts a communal airwalk on the party. He casts a death ward on himself, a freedom of movement on himself, and a shield spell on himself.
I will life bubble all of us for 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll rock some spells off as well here. What do we got left? burned all my powers on unseen servants, but
Yeah, Thurgus and the professor might be a little low.
I'm sitting here going like, I got room for a freedom of
myself
movement.
delay poison?
Keep in mind that this was the third morning, and your unseen servants would have allowed you to get rest and re-prepare your spells, right? Like,
oh yeah. Plus,
His
I have a
lasted
ring of
long
sustenance,
Yeah,
so I should be ready. I should be full tank of gassy.
yeah, you should have probably, I would say, 2 unseen servants cast, basically, from your full
Got
tank.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Mookerbeck cast a few spells, including Life Bubble. I'll put that on Crojan.
I'm death warding myself and throwing a delay poison as well.
Is that
Yeah.
Did Bukerbeck
you know
death
what I
ward the
should do?
party?
What's
Or
that?
just
Sorry?
himself? Did Bukerbeck death ward the party or just himself?
Just himself. He doesn't have enough to...
But he airwalked the party.
Yep. He's also got another freedom of movement. Does Pharisee need that?
Pharisee can cast freedom of movement.
Okay. He'll give it to the professor then. Don't get yourself caught in anything sticky.
Pharisee will good hope the party
Nice.
and moment of greatness the party.
I'll probably do telekinesis on us.
All right. At this point in time, another explosion happens. Zephyros, give me another perception check. The DC is 20. To hear something that isn't quite right, that might trigger you to start casting spells and put up defenses. You know, before
Okay.
someone comes and murders you.
Okay, perception. You said the DC is 20.
He's really focused on his books.
Yep.
31.
Okay, Zephyros, you thought you heard some sort of magical or alchemical explosion. It sounded pretty close. And 31, you think something insectoid is coming your way.
Ooh.
All right, so
Nice.
so Zephyros is going to react, and he is going to cast a couple of spells on himself before he does anything else.
All right, I'm going to roll a d3. You've got 3 rounds before something comes into the room with you. And that's 3 more rounds for this group of...
Wait, Zephyros knows something is physically on the way to him in the room.
Yeah, you hear something in, like, maybe in the floor above you, and it sounds like clicking along the ground and some sort of insectoid chittering.
Zephyros is going to dimension door the fuck out of there and get back to the group.
Okay, so the group is about 15... The group is like an hour walk north of the town. A dimension door will not get you to the temple. You have seen it from afar. You could teleport there.
Teleport there sounds pretty good right now.
Okay, so Zephyros like, fuck this, I'm alone.
He's not going to get into a fight alone.
Cast teleport. You've seen the Atlan pillars from a distance once. Give me a percentile check.
1d100 coming your way, sir. 11.
All right, something has just appeared behind all of you, and it is a large Fant who's got. I think you had your trusty bag friend with you.
Zephyros, what the fuck are you doing here? You going the wrong way, mate. Shit's blowing up over there.
Well, I just came from the shit behind me. I was in a library and some shit was going to come pick a fight with me, and I thought, I'm not going to fight him if I don't have you with me.
Oh, that's right. Too right you are. And
Wait,
actually,
wait,
we need your
what
help,
the-
mate. We need
What the
more
hell happened
help.
to you?
I got fucking ripped, mate. Been doing some of these exercises, you know. Glad you noticed.
I
Wow.
thought they were just happy that we were there, and I heard fireworks.
Should we go and defend the library?
I don't
Yes.
know what went to the library. I just heard clicking sound, and I know it was very close to me.
Clicking, like the sounds of perhaps bugs approaching.
Yeah, something like that.
Perhaps the Red Mantis assassins have found us again?
Seems reasonably likely.
My queen, I will assassinate them before they assassinate you.
Come now, we can go see in person who's ready to teleport.
I'm ready.
Well, I have one left. Zephyros looks at the big guy and he goes, do we have enough teleports now?
I've got
We
one
do.
now.
I have one as well.
Who's joining me?
Where are
Come.
we? Are
Step
we going back?
closer.
Are we going back to the library? Or are we going to the town where the fighting is?
I think probably the town.
Okay.
We all know where the town is.
Right. Town it is.
Crojan's going to drink freedom of movement, fly, and his mutagen.
So Zephyros has a teleport. How many teleports do we have in total? Do we have enough?
I've got one. You've got one. I think Pharisee has one.
And we need to burn all 3 of them to get all of us there, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, I'll give us a telepathic bond as well. I can do. Let me just double check who's all in it. Me plus creature per 3 levels. We're 12, so it's 4 creatures. So all of the PCs plus. Who do we want to include? Maybe Crojan. He's cool. Okay.
Crojan is super cool.
All of us plus Crojan are in a telepathic bond.
I have no idea where Zephyros' token is.
It's near Thurgus. It's on the map at
Right
the
under me.
pillar.
Oh, there we go. I was in the wrong place. Never mind. Okay.
So I've got myself, Tech, and Thurgus.
I'll take
I think
Crojan and
technically-
Bukerbeck.
Yeah, that sounds right. And then Zephyros can take Makronom.
Sounds pretty good to Zephyros. He's just checking his spells to make sure he's casting what he should cast before he.
Okay, if you teleport to a spot that you can see, you don't have to roll that percentile. Let's just go to. If you guys stop editing your tokens for 1 second, I'm going to move you onto the Flameford map.
That sounds good.
You guys are way out near the Atlan pillars. Oh, let me delete the dupes here. Okay. And then your settler wagon isn't here. Where are you teleporting into the town?
I feel like the Basking Rock's probably the easiest thing to see, yeah?
Yeah, you do see some of those creatures that were flying.
Seems as good a place as any to launch an assault.
They seem to be circling around the tower and firing into it, and they may also be circling around the halls of the Grand Simbast, which was the temple where Thurgus was studying in the library. The gargoyles look like they are throwing bombs.
We're going to want to resist elements if we can. Fire,
element do you
force, acid, something like that. I'm not sure.
I've got 2 potential level 3s left for resist energy communals.
Can we see what kind of bombs, like from the explosion color? Can we?
These are not the explosions that you heard. These are minor things. Like there must have been some other massive explosion that happened. But they look like perhaps just alchemy fire, but from their high up position, they're raining fire down upon the tops of the 2 buildings.
Got it.
Fire communal would probably be really handy.
I can cast a fire communal.
I already cast a resist energy fire on myself. If you want to,
Instead of heightened
Their
awareness.
leaders can be invisible, so let's make sure we can see them.
Zephyros can also cast 2 resist energies on himself if he needs to. So if you need to save those spells for something else, that's fine.
No, we're going straight into the fight. All it's going to do is reduce the duration.
At this point, you notice that the second floor of the one tower, the Flameford Tower, seems to erupt in black inky tentacles that are wiggling outside of the windows.
We just need to get there.
Yeah, let's get there. The pillars of the sun. Is it you're saying? What's the target?
I think we said the basking rock.
Oh, just kind of camp up there.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest thing to see, and it looks down on the rest of the town.
Yep.
Another option would be the
tower itself.
This mesa over here to the left of the tower.
Make a call.
We want to get in
54321.
Mesa left of the tower.
So Thurgus, Thurgus basically teleported, and then you guys are. How many more rounds are you waiting before after Thurgus arrived? There was at least 12 seconds of conversation.
Zephyros was going to cast a bunch of stuff on himself because he needed to buff up a little, so he would have been quiet casting.
Okay, how many spells did you cast?
So he cast See Invisibility, Spell Sword, and Mage Armor.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't sure. He needs to have a conversation with Thurgus at some point because he wants to know about heroism and Keen Edge, if Thurgus still wants that.
You're speaking at the power of thought right now, so...
Got it. Oh, yeah, that's right, because we've got telepathic bond.
Yeah,
Thurgus?
we had 3 rounds. Keen Edge would be great. Heroism doesn't stack with Good Hope.
All right, Zephyros cast Keen Edge on Thurgus.
One of my 3 is resistant energy communal fire.
Okay.
So I'll get the minutes really
While
quick. But
while you guys are standing around and talking, there is a loud boom and another explosion that seems to come deep within, likely the halls of the Grand Simbast, where Thurgus was, is where this explosion happens.
I do believe they're destroying your temple.
Let's teleport now.
Okay, the group teleports. Pharisee, you teleport your group. Professor, you teleport your group. And Zephyros, you teleport your group. And the 3 groups land unerringly upon this mesa. You do hear the growls of many of the warriors that may have been caught in that in that black tentacles. You can hear screams from down in the village. There are various fires that have been started, almost like they're distractions by these flying gargoyles. The flying gargoyles do take note that this large group has appeared. You don't see the Sun Shaman or the True Speaker or the Chief. They're likely inside the complex. But you do see that there are some warriors running around. There is a token amount of arrow fire that is being returned against the gargoyle brutes, and you get the sense that there may be enemies within buildings already that aren't flying around. I've rolled initiative. Okay. On X's turn, they won. 1/10 of the library has been destroyed.
No, the books!
Basically, a large group of how shall we say this? A disintegrate bomb has destroyed a large shelf full of tablets in a 10 by 10 foot area.
Not the home and garden section!
Zephyros, what are you doing? The enemies that you can see are these large gargoyle brutes. These are the exact gargoyles from the Alchemist Tower. Like you recognize some of their horns and what they were carrying, and it looks like they're kitted out with whatever alchemy they could carry.
Zephyros is going to cast Mirror Image on himself. He's not ready to head into the fight yet.
Okay.
I just need to do the roll. You continue, I'll do the roll offline. I'm just familiarizing myself with my spells again because it's been a while.
BMs? Oh no. About to be a bunch of real painful BMs happening here.
No, you don't know what the BMs are, although you do hear spellcasting within this tower, and you hear spellcasting within the halls. attack spells going off, maybe a lightning bolt and a fireball. Tech, what's Tech doing?
Tech. These things are all flying.
Yep.
And they're relatively far away. The tower seems to have some bad stuff going on in it. Let me remind myself if Tech has anything that's like a decent ranged attack. I think he is very much more a get up close and personal kind of guy. Got some javelins. Can he jump to the tower?
Yeah, there's he could move 60 feet and then hop into the tower. Give me an acrobatics check or a jump check.
Yeah, you bet. Tech's acrobatics. Find my sheet here. Tech's acrobatics is very good. Plus 26. There we go. 30.
Plus 46 for jumping.
You're right. Yeah.
Has haste
56.
Has haste been cast or no?
Not yet.
Okay. So he moves at 50, so it takes him a double move. Yeah, he's able to jump that, no problem. The top of the tower only has a bit of the tentacles wiggling through the stairwell, and he can avoid it. Now he's looking at a couple of the gargoyles. There's one that's 25 feet, like flying around 25 feet above where he is. So he's used 2 moves to get there. He's got 1 action left.
I think he will fight defensively.
Okay, so he goes defensive?
Yeah.
Is that
at least for the rest of this round?
Yeah, all right. 4-armed gargoyles. Okay. They may recognize Tech or recognize the group of you, and it looks like they begin to throw bombs at Tech.
That makes sense.
What is Tech's touch AC?
Tech's touch AC is plus 19.
Okay. They're kind of flying in, keeping... This one makes the mistake of landing on the edge of the wall, which means that Tech could jump and attack it, while the others are kind of circling around. And that one of them moved, so I think that means there are... instead of 9 bombs, there are 8 bombs being thrown Tech's way. The first 3 are at plus 18, so those hit, or 19 plus 1 from above.
Okay.
The next ones are at plus 15, so 2 more hit, that's 5.
Yeah.
And the last one's at plus 10, so 6 bombs hit him.
Okay.
Tech is protected from fire right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this round all of them are fire bombs and protection 30 resist.
Resist 30 is correct.
Yeah, they pummel Tech with fiery canisters. They might be slightly stronger than just a regular alchemist fire, but none of them individually are getting through Tech's protection.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Tech though, he burns completely, turning into a pile of ash and bones.
No.
He activates the cloak of fiery vanish.
Okay, he's now invisible.
And is now invisible.
All right.
For up to 5 rounds.
These 3 gargoyles are swooping down above the village and look like they're firing bombs with their forearms into random tents and sunscreens and to homes. It looks like they're just trying to sow confusion. Thurgus and Crojan, what are the 2 of you doing?
So we both have airwalk. Does Crojan have a charge lane?
Crojan does to that one.
Great. He charges.
walking upon air. This gargoyle brute tries to do a wing over to get away from Crojan. It's not working.
Yeah, he rages, he charges, he power attacks, and I'm assuming it's not flat-footed because it was one of the ones that already acted. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This will be bite, claw.
Okay. Loping and running across the air, he extends, his claws come out, and he begins to tear and rend.
For Flameford! For the Sundered!
35, 40, and 33.
Oh, you're ripping this gargoyle apart. Are your attacks magical?
I think he has a hand-me-down Amulet of Mighty Fists. He does. It's a +2.
Okay, which means you're getting through their DR.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Bite is 3d. All three go through 31, 37, 36.
90, 103, 104 damage. Okay. All right, this thing is now bloodied with the last attack.
That's his full attack.
Let me check its fly. Its fly skill is good enough that it doesn't have to make fly checks to descend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, its wings are large and powerful, and it's a magnificent specimen of its kind.
Okay. And then for Thurgus, I guess the other three that went down to the city, it looks like they probably flew in between some buildings and stuff.
They're flying above, so you actually can see them. We're going to say that that's about 100 feet away to the closest one.
The closest one, then I will double move, so that's 80.
and you're above it.
and then I'll take one attack action because it's just outside my reach, right?
You've got 10-foot reach.
I do. Oh, am I within range?
Oh, I didn't actually count. What's your movement rate?
You said it was 100, and my speed's only 40, so I'm assuming it was 80 plus 10 was.
Yeah, you
90.
also had to get to the lip of the mesa. So yeah,
Okay.
you could double move all the way up to it. And
Yeah, I'll double move and I'll make one ranged attack with the blood sickle.
Oh, I see. Your move is 40.
Yeah, so I'll move.
You're 20 feet away from it, and then you're going to use a blood sickle attack. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's only a 29 to hit.
That missed by 1.
Okay. That's it for Thurgus.
Okay, the blood sickle hit it, but it looks like it had some armor, perhaps some magical protections that caused the blood sickle to kind of explode against it. Makronom Gobbler is going to just settle in on...
Oh, do you want me to go in and see if I can help anyone? Pull them out of the tentacles?
If you can get there, it's probably not a bad idea to try. But...
Okay.
Makronom goes down and...
Hey, do any of you need a helping tentacle?
So Makronom's trying to save some of these warriors that are being squeezed to death. Bukerbeck. Bukerbeck is going to... I don't know. Cast a spell.
Does he have a prayer?
He does not. Bukerbeck's speed, I think, is decent. No, it's 30. I think he's moving to basically back up Thurgus. Thurgus was about 80 feet away, so he triple moves all the way up to Thurgus. He's going to basically provide spell support for Thurgus. Professor, what are you doing?
Oh, where did everyone go? Oh, I didn't get a chance to give any buffs. Oh, what to do? Oh, Zephyros, do you need a haste at least?
I think a haste would be good for all of us, but I don't need a haste myself. I can cast it. I think maybe a big illusion that can draw some attention away from everything would be a good idea.
Oh, point taken. Well, let's see. We're close to his prison. Maybe this will add a little oomph to it. I will do a major. What's the most powerful one with all the sound and stuff? I believe it is persistent. Persistent image. Yep. And I will pump 3 points into it to make it even more believable. And then above the town, probably behind. So sorry, I was trying to figure out my. I'm gonna do something I think next round. So these guys are up here attacking tech, right? That's just kind of our main engagement, right? And these guys down here are wreaking havoc.
But now that Thurgus has attacked them, it looks like they're gonna defend themselves.
Okay, and it's Thurgus and Bucherbeck going to engage those ones, and it's Crojan and Tech coming to engage these flying ones. Let's throw a little action up here in the air. So, persistent image. I'm going to spawn it behind these guys. They're what size category? They're large. I'll probably do gargantuan. I've seen, I'm trying to draw on a memory that I think I've erased, so I can't pull the right memory. So I'm trying to remember, in this desert, is the altar to Gex? What was his name? It's sorry, I only go up to the top. It's Garrix. The altar of Garrix is out here in this desert, and a Chardalon is hiding inside of it. I think when I met a Chardalon, I erased that memory so I would forget the geese, where if I ever come across a metallic dragon, I have to bring it to him to free him from this prison. So I think I only remember the metallic dragon. So I will summon a gargantuan metallic dragon image behind these gargoyle brutes, and it will let out a challenge. See if we can get these guys a little distracted here.
What color? Silver, gold, bronze, brass, or copper?
Probably gotta go gold. I mean, all costs the same, right?
The professors met a Chardalon?
Yeah, like telepathically.
That's important information.
Yeah, but I forgot.
All right.
I forgot.
So you summon the likeness of a massive gold dragon, or what you've seen as pictures of gold dragons behind it. It's illusory. I'll just give it a big fuchsia halo to remind us that it's illusion. What's the DC of this illusion?
So it's a 5th circle spell, plus 23 is 28, plus another 2 is 30 because it's an illusion, plus another 2 because I put in the points. It should be DC 32.
Okay, a very convincing angry gold dragon has appeared. Yeah, that seems to have flustered the gargoyle brutes. They don't know what's happening. And what is it doing?
It will breathe whatever breath it is towards them, and it'll just miss, and it will make some aggressive action towards them.
We can time that. I can make it fireballs.
Gold dragons, are just off the cuff. You've got enough knowledge arcana that they are fire dragons, and they're also fire-breathing dragons. So gouts of flame go flaming around in the air. The gargoyle brutes are banking and ducking and weaving to try to get away from it, and they're interacting. Is it one of those threatening illusions? Does it actually provide flanking?
No, this one doesn't.
Okay, all right.
I'll cast it silently, and then I'll use a fly move to, I guess I'll go... I can hear, the library is getting attacked.
There is
It
fighting.
sounds
There is
like-
fighting in the chieftain's hall,
It sounds
there is
like-
fighting in the chieftain's hall, and you could probably fly in and go like into that way to get across this walkway because you were in the chieftain's hall for the big banquet, and then there's fighting in the multiple levels of the library. Or the temple which has a library in it.
That's pretty far away, though. How many moves to get to that temple?
It would be 2 moves to get anywhere near the face or the roof of the temple.
All right, I'll pass control of the illusion to the crawling hand, and I will fly down and see if I can see what's going on in here.
Okay. You don't see the Sun Shaman, but you do see that Akron and the chieftain, as well as 2 guards, are fighting a whole host of people. What senses do you have right now, or what spells that give you?
I see invisibility up. That is probably the only one I have that would add any kind of bonus to senses.
There are some what look like human knights that are battling the Rakastan warriors of the sun. There is a knight dressed in wolf's armor. These look like knights straight out of like the court of Grand Station. That is currently battling the chief. There is a cackling invisible foe of great and fat size that is nimbly flying about the room.
Oh no! This guy? Is it really?
As you see an invisible bloat mage that is now hammering Akram with a bunch of magic missiles, and Akron looks like he's like ready to fall.
I'll relay all this in the telepathic bond. And that should be my turn. I'm working on
give me a perception check because you may or may not see something else.
Oh no, I don't see it. I think we can just skip the formality here. I think I may have just actually like unnoticed something else by my low perception.
Okay.
11.
You don't notice any other assailants sneaking around in this area.
All right, I'm working on cooking up something interesting here. We're gonna do a little rearranging, but I should have it for next turn, hopefully.
All right.
That's me.
Some powerful-looking knights from Queen Ilios's court are trying to murder or battle Rakastans of the Flameford village. It looks like this wolf knight might be a better fighter than Chief Reddyclaw. Chief Reddyclaw, the problem that he has is extreme age. Also perhaps being caught by surprise. You don't know how these knights got here, although you suspect that teleport might have been a thing. Pharisee.
I think I'm just going to have to move. I'm going to move to sort of... Can I look in a window down on this scene?
Yeah, there's underneath this lip, there's a walkway with open doors. It did look like these warriors may have run outside into the fray when bombs started going off. But yeah, you can see into the scene, and if you have see invisibility, you can see the float.
It's this scene in here. Yes, excellent.
The floating bloat
Yep.
mage. He's laughing as the fighting's going on.
I can start Bard Song, and I will start Bard Song.
Okay, the bloat mage slowly turns around when he hears music coming from the open doorway. Are you hiding in any way, shape, or form?
I think I want to peek in, but I want to have cover.
Okay, give me a stealth. As part of that move, I'll let you have a stealth.
Sounds good. Let's take a look at my stealth. I have some stealth. It's not bad. It's plus 22. Okay. 29.
All right. When the bloat mage turns around, when Pharisee starts her fluting or her what is it, singing or fluting? Piping.
Wind.
Yeah. When he starts her piping, he turns around and looks right at the professor. Oh, you! you.
Oh no, he can see me. Someone help!
All right. RMAW. What were these? These were the Red Mantis Assassin Warriors. Okay, they are doing their thing. And then we've got the Red Mantis Rogues. Yeah. All right. Get him! With see invisibility, you notice that a bunch of the side chambers have Red Mantis assassins in them. And they come running out. And there's an AOO as they get into position. It does look like they're flying.
No, I'm going to stay hidden.
Okay. They set up a flank around Henry, and they're going to start attacking.
My job is not DPS.
Now, gentlemen.
They do not. It's their helmets. They do not look like they're going to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll just keep my mouth closed and try and hide in my invisibility.
Yep. Nope. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Do they see him, though? Do they know he's there?
Yep. See, invisibility is a second level spell. You can have it via a wand, a potion. You could cast it. They know who you are, and they've come to kill you. Just like the last time they tried to kill you. All right. They flew out flying speed of 60. They are now flanking Professor, who's standing on the bridge. And they're going to get their 2 attacks. What is your AC, Professor?
I'm going to use an immediate action. I will use a Mage's Point to get that. And I will grant myself a shield bonus to my AC equal to my intelligence bonus.
Okay.
Until the end of next turn.
You put up with great quickness your defensive power as the 2 Mantis assassins, AC 34, not a critical, AC 31.
That's a good question. Hold on, let me. So my AC before this.
Their evil poisoned sawtooth sabers are slashing in towards you.
Was 25. Hold on, it's been a long time since I've had to calculate AC. My AC normally is +4 dex, +4 armor, +3 ring, so 21. And then I would add my int modifier with all my bonuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is +11. So, and also that puts me at 22 plus reduced person gives me
32.
Oh, sorry. 32, yes.
Reduced person
Plus,
gives you another 2, I believe.
Yeah, because it gives me 1 for
size, 1 for
dex.
dex. Yep.
Yeah, so that puts me at 34. Is there anything else? What did you say the swing was at me?
1 was 31 with your defensive power. You blocked it. However, the other one got through. It does 29 points of damage.
Yes. Okay.
And a fortitude save.
Okay.
He has a ring of protection +3 though, yeah?
Yeah, that should have been included in the beginning. It was 4 dex, 4 armor, 3 ring. Fortitude save. I have a +2 profane bonus versus disease and sickening, nauseating effects. Immunity to
It
blood
is not.
veil.
The wound burns with a very virulent poison.
Does
It's actually it's actually a venom.
And does Good Hope or anything do any bonuses to saves here?
Good Hope gives you a +2.
Good Hope gives you +2 to saves.
All right, there we go.
You can burn Moment of Greatness for another +2.
Let's see what happens. 34.
Okay, you are not infected by the wyvern poison that would otherwise do a 1d4 con per round.
It's nasty.
All right, that was their first attacks.
Yep.
Now their second attacks at +11s.
And my AC is 34. I believe we just calculated.
Yep. There's a critical miss. Critical miss.
Fall off the bridge. Stumble and fall off.
A strength check or drop all the items you're holding. Damn it. So you conjured this mage shield, which caused one of their blades to go flying up. They're not that strong compared to their dex, so nope. 1d4 in a. It goes 3 away in 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of their blades actually tumbles off of the bridge.
Awesome.
Good work, Professor.
Do we know which one?
The one to the south.
The one to the south.
Yeah. So missing blade. And it was the one that hit you. Another one steps out, and so first thing, when they first attacked, they actually appeared. They only have lesser invisibility. This one is going to cast a hold person on Henry. A DC 18 will save, or be paralyzed.
All right. 1d20 plus
making
11.
this weird droning noise as he's pointing his hand outstretched towards you.
Good Hope works for this, right?
Yep.
Yes.
23.
Okay. Your entire body goes through a flush of numbness, but you manage to not be held.
Bob and weave, Professor. Come on, buddy.
The last one comes out and is going to throw, and it's actually right underneath Pharisee. And it's going to throw some like spiked ninja stars at you.
Come on now. Professor, well, he's been really practicing acrobatics. He's going to try and matrix.
Okay. The first one bounces off your mage shield. The second one hits you. This does 1d2 plus 2 damage plus 4d6 sneak attack for 14 damage total. And then a fortitude save. They have bathed their weapons and blades in this wyvern poison.
Yeah, I'm already.
Has he getting sneak attack on the Professor here?
What's that?
Yeah, can I see
sneak attack?
I can see him because I have seen invisibility, right?
Yeah, you didn't initially see where they were.
Okay.
That was the perception check from the round before, so they were still sneaking, which you can do while invisible. He does appear for everyone to see, though.
You said this is fort save?
Yep, DC 19.
21.
Okay, you managed to pluck the thing out before the poison gets too deep. Makarnop turns around. Oh, these guys! At least you have him, and then Pharisee is kind of clinging on to a rock, looking really worried as these red mantis have all poured out. Okay, the assassins have attacked. Red Mantis warriors, rogues. Darian is still a sword. Unfortunately, Mark could not make it tonight. And then the people of Flameford. True Speaker Akram is trying to cast a spell to get away. He is turning invisible and trying to tend to his wound. Chief Reddyclaw is roaring and defiantly standing against this wolf knight that has outclassed him. The Warriors of the Sun are fighting back against the knights. There might be a much more even fight between this pair. Let's see. At the top of the building, waving at the party, is Kit Deandra. The little kid that was a follower of Halcyon, the one that made friends with
No, you gotta hide! Stop waving! Get to cover!
We need help!
Oh, fuck, for fuck's sake.
Pulling on those heartstrings. Someone forgot we were jerks.
They're attacking the Sun Shaman!
We should help that guy.
He went to go rescue Zephyros!
For some reason, I've got those two names.
Yeah, you keep mixing them up.
God damn it, Zephyros.
Yeah, so Kit's telling you that the Sun Shaman went rushing when the attack happened to go rescue Zephyros, but Zephyros had boogied out of there with his teleport spell. So there's that might explain the fight that is going on in the halls of the Grand Sembast. Yeah. And then...
Zephyros still holds good thing he got out of there. Like, you don't get into a fight if you're not with a party.
You don't like fighting alone, do you? All right, top of the round. It sounds like some bombs or spells going off inside of the halls. He actually, X, or whatever that is, had to concentrate on the Sun Shaman because the Sun Shaman was fighting back with spells and did not get to disintegrate any of the library. How dare they know about us? Zephyros.
Zephyros is trying to see if he can look down because he's hearing everything at the bottom here. So he's gonna fly or hover until he can get line of sight of what's going on with the professor here.
So you're wandering up to the edge, or are you coming around the side?
I would say Zephyros is probably going to do something more along the lines of this. He wants to stay in the air out of harm's way as much as he can because he's got overland flight, but he wants to move.
You want to see what's going on here.
But he wants to be able to see what's going on here, correct?
Okay, so you've come a little bit out towards us, or have you gone back?
A little bit up and a little bit out.
Okay, so you've flown back, and you can see this part of the balcony, and then of course this side of the fight. But now you're not viewing what's going on over here.
Okay,
which is fine.
So that being said, Zephyros is going to target a. Oh, why can I not mark? Hold on. There we go. Zephyros is going to target a fireball somewhere around here. He's trying to get this guy and this guy. He's not sure if he should use fire or acid or something like that. So he's just going to very quickly ask and see if somebody gives an opinion here.
Just fireball the professor. He's got resistance.
Does Mokranum have resistance?
Mokranum, yeah, got the spell, I believe. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so if Mokranum has resistance, maybe I can move the center of the fireball up and maybe get this guy as well.
Okay, that would also get the professor. And I'm going to say it also gets Pharisee because you can't see Pharisee from
She'll
here.
be fine.
All right, so a Zephyros fireball rocks that entire entryway. Boom!
Yeah, and just to be clear, this is an intensified fireball, just so that you guys are all aware.
May as well, yeah.
The DC is 25.
Okay, because there's a Bard Song running, we're going to make our reflex saves in order of initiative. So Zephyros, roll your damage.
All right, damage is on the way. 14 D6 plus 5. 47.
Okay. 23 is half. So if you make the save, you take no damage. What is the DC of your fireball?
25.
Whew. All right. The first people to make it are the Zephyros not there. Tech is not there. Forum Gargoyles, no. It looks like Mokranum's the first to roll. Including Good Hope. He does have evasion. Could you give me a d20 plus 17 for Mokranum?
Oh, what? The bees usually go in the other direction.
All right.
Oh, I feel the burn.
I'm sorry, buddy.
So subtract 30. Mokranum took 17 damage from friendly fireball.
Resist energies don't stack, right?
Nope.
No.
Bukerbeck's not there. Professor, you're in the center of this. Give me a
Yeah.
reflex save.
It should be 10 plus 2 from Good Hope plus 1 from Reduced Person. 22.
Okay,
Nope.
so you fail. You take 17 damage after the resistance.
Oh no.
These freaking assassins better not fail.
They're all gonna evade.
They better freaking fail.
They
I
have
know.
really high
All right,
dex.
Pharisee, you actually go before the rogues, so you get your reflex save.
I fail.
You take 17 damage before after the resistance.
Just bad luck. We all rolled absolute garbage.
There is a spell called Controlled Fireball. You should look up this one, Neil, because it's
When I
exactly
can
the spell.
exclude my party.
Yeah.
There's
or-
also a selective meta magic.
Yeah. Now there's some friendly fireball.
It is friendly.
All right, the 3 Red Mantis assassins whose best save is their reflex all have evasion.
Yeah.
And we
Oh
have
Jesus!
one.
They're not going to take any damage.
Yeah. So starting with the one underneath Pharisee, going in a counterclockwise motion. Failed, and made it.
Woo!
So this one takes 47 damage. Ooh.
He failed really hard. Wow.
This one takes 47 damage, the one that's missing the blade, and the other one evades, ducking behind the professor, and doesn't take any damage.
Don't make me do that again.
The fireball also does nothing to the tentacles, but you manage to avoid some of the warriors of the sun who are captured in the tentacles. Boom! All right. Zephyros.
Oh, why? Don't do that again.
Do
it again.
Yells Mockernub. Then we've got bloat mages.
Kill my brothers, do you? That just means there's one less to compete with.
You're welcome in that case. If you wouldn't mind standing your red assassins down, thank you.
No, it does not look like he's going to do that.
No.
He floats into here. Let's see. He doesn't see
In the
Ferris.
telepathic bond, I'll say that suggests that this one may be a simulacrum too.
Yes, with cold comfort right now, Pharisee. Cold comfort.
Because they're made of ice. Good one.
Yes.
All right, some acidic material starts being conjured from his palm. It forms this long arrow of acid, and it goes flying towards the professor. What's your touch AC, Professor?
Do I get a shield bonus on that?
I don't know.
Touch is dex, dodge, deflection, no armor, or natural.
Yeah. I don't think you get your shield on this.
So it would
I
be
gotta get 17.
17, and then reduced person will give me another 2, so it should be 19.
19, and then what is the mage's power that allowed you to raise your shield?
That only
It's a shield
granted
bonus.
a shield bonus.
A shield bonus. Okay.
But wait, that one I think
Okay.
is a swift action.
The acidy arrow hits AC 26.
Oh well, this is a good run, guys.
All right, it does 5 acid damage, but it continues to burn.
What didn't I have something crazy that lets me delay some kind of effects? I don't think it works for this. Overcome circumstances. I can expend 1 or more point As a free action to shrug off detrimental effects. This is just like a damage.
This is
thing,
continuous damage. Yep.
Right? Okay. So, sorry, I took how much?
5 damage.
And I take how much every round?
It's continuing to burn. It's also making your spell casting a little harder, although your concentration check is